Hello, and welcome to the Len'en character sorter, which is a thing that I kind of wanted to do a while ago, back when I was, playing these games. But I went and looked and see if it existed, and for some reason I couldn't find it, so I just assumed that one of these didn't exist. So I just kind of forgot about it, but then a couple days ago I uploaded a video where I talked about maybe wanting to make a video where I went over a Touhou sorter, and I got a comment that said I should do a Len'en sorter too. And I was confused because, I thought it didn't exist, so, I looked again, and then it was, like, really easy to find this time. So I don't know why I couldn't find it last time. I guess I must have Mandela affected into a different dimension again. That happens sometimes. But, yeah, I'm here to do it now, and it's probably better that I'm doing it now because recently I've acquired a bunch of Len'en music for personal use, so I can edit that into the background of this video, because right now I'm listening to complete silence because my recording software doesn't really let me add music in the background because it just records what's on the screen. I've tried it before, it doesn't work. I don't even have my headphones on. I guess that's the one silver lining about this. So yeah, and also I wanted to do this one before the Touhou sorter because there are less Len'en characters, so theoretically this should take less time than the Touhou sorter, shouldn't it? And yeah, there are a few things I wanted to talk about before I started, which, I mean, the whole thing's yapping, so hopefully you don't mind some yapping before I start doing the yapping. But first off, I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually kind of nervous about this, because normally when I do a recording like this, I'm like playing a game, so even if my commentary isn't exactly great, at least there's like gameplay to make it decent. This is entirely, there's going to be a blank screen that occasionally changes every now and then, and that's going to be this entire video, so I need to try to have interesting things to say, or else the entire video is terrible. But yeah, the first thing I wanted to talk about before I actually started was, I guess I could talk about how I got into this series, so I could give some context to, I guess, some of my opinions later on. So, I got into Touhou in like 2015 or something like that, and it wasn't that long after I got into Touhou where I heard of some of Jinx's remixes, the PC98 themes, so I've known about them for a while, and I've known they made their own series, but I wasn't really interested in looking into it until around summertime in 2023 is when I decided that I was just going to get into it, because why not? And I got into it the same way I got into Touhou, which was I basically listened to the music, and that's all I really cared about for a while. So I did that in 2023 summer. Basically I didn't know anything about the series besides the music, and despite that fact, it was around the time when I was trying to do art for a bit before I stopped doing that. So I've actually drawn some art of these characters that I knew absolutely nothing about at the time, because I was making certain types of videos I was trying to make art for, and I don't even make those types of videos anymore. But besides that, so, even though I didn't know anything about the series, I drew some art and I made some covers. And I wasn't really interested in playing the games because I think at that time I wasn't even playing normal Touhou games at that point. It had been years since I played a Touhou game. But then I just decided to start playing Touhou games again, so I did. I played the original Touhou games, and then I started doing extra stages, and I did 2 of them, and Okina pissed me off, so I stopped doing extra stages. So I started playing Touhou fan games, and then I ran out of the initial pack of Touhou fan games that I downloaded, so I was like, you know what, I'll play Len'en. So I did. I think that was actually about a year ago at this point. It was around the end of November, start of December, so yeah, it's a decently appropriate time for me to be doing this. It's been about a year. So yeah, I played the first 3 games pretty quickly with a span of a week or 2, and then the 4th game took me forever. It took me at least a month, I think. But back when I originally played the games, every time I would finish a game, because the first 3 games at least, I didn't have them in English, so I went back and read the dialogue on the wiki, and I was interested enough in the characters to actually look up the character bios for each character, which is something I never actually did for Touhou, but probably never will at this point. But, yeah, I did that for, the first 3 games, and then I did that for the 4th game when I eventually finished it back in January. Except I didn't really finish it because I didn't finish the extra stage, so like a couple months later, I think in last summer, I went back because I started doing the extra stages for all the games, for the first 3 games, so I finally went back to the 4th game, and after about a couple hours of grinding, I finally managed to beat the stupid 4th stage, stupid extra stage of the 4th game, and then I started playing the game again. So, yeah, that was pretty much the last time I played any of these games, so I basically said most of that to say, yeah, I knew a bunch of information about the characters and stuff in this series, but, like, most of it was read, like, about a year ago, so I've forgotten most of it. So yeah, I've said in a previous video, I'm not an accurate source of Touhou lore, so don't listen to me. I'm really not an accurate source of Len'en lore at all. Most of what I say here is probably going to be wrong, but it's just from what I remember. And what I remember is what I'm going to base my opinions on. So, yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to talk about before I start. The other thing I wanted to talk about is this sorter does have a couple of options here, where you can take out a couple things. I decided to take out a couple things because I've played the first 4 games. I don't know what Emergency Everyday is. I think it's like, from what I understand, it's like a prototype for what eventually became Evanescent Existence. But I'm not sure, so I don't know. And I know it apparently has completely different characters, which I know nothing about, so that's being turned off. And then Book of Cafe is the mobile game that I have no interest in, so that's being turned off. And then I don't know what Other is. I know this series apparently has music CDs that have stories that I haven't read, so if I had to guess, I'm gonna guess that's where the Other's from. Or it's like the other characters that, like, exist, but barely. Like, the Sheeta-doos have a sister or something, they're really not that important. That might be in the Other, so you have that off. And then, Monads, that's Hamey, Artie, and Benny. That's their names, right? Yeah, it's 3 Suzumis. It's not named Suzumi because Suzumi is 3 different characters or something. Anyway, I'm putting Suzumi as her own character. So, oh yeah, and another thing, the thing about, the characters in this series, all their genders are supposed to be ambiguous because it's supposed to be like birds or something. Like those, like animals where you can't tell what their gender is unless you can actually, like, look. I don't know. I'm not gonna be very consistent. I'll say they, he, she, whatever. It's gonna switch all the time. I've never been really consistent with it. Anyway, after about 8 minutes of yapping, I'm going to continue to yap for who knows how long. I don't know how long this is going to take. Who knows? I'm going to start now. Okay. Yep. First start, and I have no idea who this is. I only have the first 4 games checked, so... Oh, yeah, kitty? I complain about the kitten meowing all the time, but then, like, I go back in the recording, you can barely hear him sometimes, so maybe I should just, like, not even say anything. But anyway, I don't know who this character is. Good start. I definitely know who this character is. Sukune. Sukune is great. I don't know. What else is... I feel like I would have a lot more to say about them, but I kind of don't. Like... They make cool mech stuff. They're a funny character. They talk funny, so it's funny to voice them. And, yeah, that's the thing. I don't know how long this is going to take, because it's going to depend on how much I have to say about a character, and sometimes I feel like I have a lot to say, but sometimes I just don't. Because that's how these things normally work, is, you talk about a character each time they show up for, like, the first time, and that's what takes most of the time, and then the actual sorting part doesn't take that long. So anyway, Sukune is going to be better than a character I don't know. I don't know who that is either. I'm gonna have a feeling that turning these things off did nothing. I don't know who Haru is. This is great. How many characters does this series have that I don't know? Probably a lot. This doesn't even look. This looks like a sketch. This didn't look like put in like a manual or something. I don't know. Anyway, Sesei. Sesei's a little shithead. I don't know. from what I remember, Sensei is kind of like Cherno, and where like most of their dialogue is, I don't think they actually ever say I'm the strongest, but most of the dialogue is I am really strong, even though I am stage 1 boss, I will beat you up, yes. And that's from most of what I remember. And then you have like the whole EXSA thing, which was kind of cool, even though I hate that fight. Yeah, that's the neat thing about Sensei is, you know, they're kind of like Cherno and Rumia, because they have they act like Cherno, but they have the EX Sensei thing, which is kind of like the EX Rumia thing. But yeah, Sensei is pretty great. I remember enjoying the dialogue quite a bit when I read it in the 4th game. Again, that's one of the problems of doing this now, is I don't remember what most of said dialogue is, so this is kind of just, it's kind of a distant memory sort of thing, you know? Anyway, I don't know what this is, so there you go. Alright, shit to do 1, and, Fujiwara no Shirogane no Sanra. What's Shirogane is a something name, right? Kuroji, right, when it comes to the Shita-doos, I know like a lot of people like them, and I don't really get it. Just I like Huaka kind of grew on me eventually, but like Kuroji's just kind of an asshole. Like it can be kind of funny sometimes, but he's just kind of an unlikable dick, and that's most of it from what I can tell. And I don't really like playing as them either, so there's that. And then, Sanra is a character. You know what, Sanra doesn't wear socks. Very, very important information. I don't remember much about Sanra. Yeah, for some characters, I remember some of the lore I read about, but for Sanra, I don't remember fucking anything. They shoot the gun. With the finger gun, they have finger gun in their attacks. I remember that. They have some military uniform. They're like the field marshal of the Imperial Army or something, right? Yep, that. Yep. Right. We reached the point where, you know, there are characters that I don't really care about, so I have to choose which character I don't care about more. Or less? Less? Yes, less. You, I guess. I don't know. Fucking hell. Alright, you. I'll get to you later. Para. Para's kind of interesting, because they're like, from what I remember, they're like, their body, this is what Fumikado's body used to look like before it was swapped with what Fumikado's body is now, because Fumikado was a homunculus, but then the human Fumikado like switched souls with the homunculus or something, so now Fumikado is the homunculus, and now Para is the homunculus stuck in the human's body. And they're really angry about it. And the like little white things. Is it like it's siblings or something? I don't know how that works. But, I don't know, most of the things I like about Para is the dialogue they have with New Emperor Team in 4. I don't really remember any of the other dialogues. I think their dialogue with, what even is the team? What's the team name of Subakura and the other two? I don't know. Team Subakura, that's what I'm calling them. Shrine Team, that's what it is. Their dialogue with Shrine Team is like most characters' dialogue with Shrine Team, where Shrine Team says absolute fucking nonsense, and the character they're talking to is completely baffled by the nonsense they're saying. But, yeah, that's a Para. Anyway, this fucking thing. Yeah. Is this character going to be at the bottom? Because that's the thing with sorters, which I hope wouldn't be a problem here, which is why I turned all these things off, but do I put the character I hate the least at the bottom, or do I at least put them above characters I literally know nothing about? I don't know. Anyway, this fucking mirror, I hate this thing, because if you don't know, this fucking mirror, its whole thing is that it like mind controls children to become slaves and like feeds off their life energy until they die. and that's their thing. And you know, the thing about that is that, you know, the first boss in Len'en 4, every single character that you play as in Len'en 4 encounters this thing. And the reason why I hate this character so much is because every character in Len'en 4, playable character in Len'en 4, basically becomes a worse character because of this thing's existence, because none of them do anything about it, even though it's a fucking mirror that kills children. And just none of the playable characters do anything about that, which is just kind of baffling. And it makes it to where, like, you just kind of have to, it's one of those things where you just kind of have to ignore it, because if you don't, you have to be like, wow, all these characters that I like, because I like most of the playable characters in Len'en 4, they kind of just let a child-killing monster just roam free, and they didn't fucking do anything about it. So, yeah. And it's not like the mirror has anything interesting to say anyway. So yeah, fuck this mirror, it's stupid. Lyn. You know what this is? How many fucking characters are in this series? I don't know. Buttons, why didn't they work? Anyway, Kurohyubi. I remember this character had a pretty cool backstory, I think. Because I think they were like an artificial being that was like created by Subakura and Suzumi or something. But I don't really remember anything other than that, and I don't remember like any other dialogue. But I think their thing is that Suzumi wants them to kill Subakura, but they don't want to do that, so they do a really bad job at it, which is why they're stage 1 boss, because they don't really want to do what they're doing. So that's neat, I guess. It's Smile. Anyway. Saragamaru. Gamaru. Dagumo. And Suzumi, who's by herself, because okay, so this one worked, but it didn't, but these didn't work. Anyway, right, yeah, here's the big issue with it being like a year since I've read any of this lore. Is I remember liking the Adagumos a lot because I liked the lore that they had, but now that it's been so long since I've read it, I've probably like misremembered what it actually is. So, from what I can remember, there was this guy. He had a sword. It was called the Tusoken or something. I probably said that wrong. And then that guy died, right? He died, and then his body parts, they like turned into yokai or something. And then the arm became Yorochi, and then one of the eyes became Saragamaru, and then there was a bunch of other body parts that turned into other siblings, but they all died at some point, and I don't remember if that's because they just died naturally, if like Yorochi killed them in his pursuit for the sword or something. But that's what I remember. And then Yorochi found the sword in like an ocean or something, but then it wasn't usable anymore, so he was very sad about it. But then Saragamaru went to Sukune, and Sukune made the sword, but then Saragamaru didn't actually want to show the sword to Yaorochi, because Saragamaru really does not want to talk to Yaorochi, and I think it's because they had a falling out a really long time ago. I think Yaorochi kicked the shit out of him, but I don't really remember. Anyway, Saragamaru really doesn't want to talk to Yaorochi, so he made the sword, so Sukune made the sword for them. But they didn't give it to him, so it just kind of stayed at Sukune's place, and then one time, Yorochi was kind of walking around, I think they found the sword in Sukune's place, and that's when Len'en 2 happened. Is that how it went? I think. Maybe. Anyway, Saragamaru here, they show up in the second game, and they're like, they were going to kill you because, you made Yaorochi look bad or something. And then, I don't know if that was a threat or not, because here's the thing about Len'en, is I don't know if any of the things that happen in this series are, like, actually serious at all, because his characters talk mad shit, but then nobody dies ever, so I don't know. But so, they were maybe or maybe not going to kill you in the second game's extra stage, and then you beat them, and then you go out drinking or something, or you were already out drinking, and then you left the party to go get more drinks or something. Is that the story of that stage? I don't know. And then the third game starts, and then she is a playable character because she was spying on Yaorochi, and then Kuroji yanked her out of a bush. and was like, I'm going to tell Yarochi about you, or you could be my slave. And they were like, I'm guessing I'm your slave now. So that was what the third game was. And then apparently they were Kuroji's slave for a bit, and then in the fourth game they ran away, and then they were like a stage 4 boss that could occasionally show up, which never showed up because I kept getting Hibaru instead. Yep, that's this character story, right? Anyway, I like this character a lot, but because I like both of them a lot. Well, yeah, the thing that sucks about Saragamaru is that the entire universe just kind of shits on them the whole time, and that never really gets resolved, because by the fourth game, these two are kind of irrelevant, because, like, Yarochi's, like, an optional final boss, and then Saragamaru's an optional stage 4 boss, so they went from being, like, playable characters and final and extra bosses to being, like, who cares? So, like, it seems like stuff was being set up with those two, but they're kind of, like, not really relevant to the series anymore. It kind of, like, moved on, so Saragamaru is just in this weird state where, like, I think they're not Kuroji slave anymore, but also I don't really know what they're doing now. But, I still like them. And Suzumi, what's there to say about Suzumi? There's a lot of things to say about Suzumi. Yeah, sorry. Where do I even begin here? I mean, they're basically the series' main villain, which is neat that this series has one, and it's this villain is all encompassing. Is that the phrase? As this one is? But yeah, they're like a big deal in this series, apparently. Like, there's like a bunch of lore about this character that I don't know, and apparently they're like they have a bunch of like other media about them that I don't know about. I've read all of this character's dialogue in the 4 main games, and I forgot most of it, but still, I still don't know most about this character. But I think they're pretty cool, I guess. They have good dialogue with Subakura, but other than that, most of their dialogue is just ignoring whoever they're talking to, and talking to themselves, because 2 of them talk to themselves, and the third one never shows up, but they're there. Not kidding? Yeah? Right. Anyway, Saragamaru, sure. What the fuck am I looking at? What is that thing? Yo. That's fucking cool. Anyway, another character I don't know. Jinbe. He's, they're the Shikigami of the shrine or something, right? Right, yeah, they are. And I don't really remember much about them, other than they're kind of sassy sometimes, I think. They have, like, some dialogue sometimes in, like, stories, and they get in, like, prologues and stuff. And I think some endings, but yeah, there's not really much. They're just they kind of exist. That's, I recognize that character, but I don't know anything about them. Right, this one, I don't remember anything about this. Do they have, like, a staff or something? What is that? Is that a sword? That symbol anyway. I don't know. They're just kind of the third one. Don't really remember much about their dialogue, other than they're just the whiny one. They whine a lot. And they can, like, summon Eldritch Abominations from portals or something, but it's not even really used in any of their attacks. I think they just kind of throw water at you. Yeah, it's the third one. Well, what can I say? It's the third one. That's their sister, right? Why are they here? Don't know. These turn these things off mean nothing. Apparently it does. Anyway, Subakura. It's a great picture you've chosen there. I like Subakura. They've got some interesting backstory, most of which I don't remember. And sometimes I like Subakura's dialogue, but the main issue I have with Subakura is that most of the time there was Yabusabe and the other one. And because of that, like, they don't really get to say much that's interesting, because most of Shrine Team's dialogue is Yabusabe and Shion just saying absolute fucking nonsense, and Subakura will crack a wise joke every now and then, and that's 90% of their dialogue. And it's like, I don't know, Subakura is one of those characters where they have interesting things that they know, but they don't say anything interesting, because they're just kind of a wise ass, and they don't really care what's happening. My cats are playing, right? Yep. But, yeah. You know, I like Subakura. I think that they're pretty good protagonist for the series, because they are the series protagonist. Yabusabe is not the series protagonist. They're just there. But, I don't know. I wish they'd say more interesting things sometimes. Like, their best dialogue is with Suzumi, and that only happens, like, twice. How does this character even... Okay. Does it even count? This is just, Mitsumo's mind slave who's going to die. Not much of a character. They're literally not a character. They're just basically a puppet. This would be like putting, like, Shanghai on the character sorter, which, to be fair, I think Shanghai's on the popularity poll for some reason. Anyway, Kyoto Kashiwagi, their whole joke that I had when I played Len'en 4 is that they look like Futo, but they're blue. So I made them talk like this, because this is my stupid Futo voice, yes. And I don't really remember much about them, other than they're part of, like, they're like the leader of an elite Imperial Guard that, like, was kept around after Midori did their coup, but, like, they aren't respected very well, so, like, they try to come off as, like, some respected warrior, but nobody takes them seriously, and also they use poison for some reason. But I don't know. They're not a puppet. Iago. Right, Iago is a character who is Kokoro's mask, and that's not important. I tried to draw them once. That was something. But, yeah, another character, they have a lot of backstory, I think. They're, like, an extremely important character lore-wise, because they've, like, made the Tosoken, that's what it's called, I think. Sword that was the entire point of the second game. They made that, and they made a bunch of other important shit, and I think they made, like, most of the weapons that are, like, used in the series at all, so yeah, they're really important, but other than that, I don't really know anything about them. I don't remember any of their dialogue from the fourth game. The most memorable thing about them is that they're the only, for me personally, is they're the only Stage 4 extra boss from Len'en 4 that I beat on my first try, so I didn't have to deal with their fight a bajillion times. Yeah, that's Iago, and you have Midori. Midori's an interesting character, aren't they? Pretty weird character this is, because, like, they're very serious but very silly at the same time. Like, it's like the game, like, they've killed a shit ton of people, but then the game tries to make it make it seem like it was justified, because, like, the ruling class was a bunch of really bad people apparently, but also, like, they killed, like, the owner of, like, an ice cream shop or something because the shit they were selling was too expensive. So they just killed them, so it's like, if they killed them for that, am I really going to take the word of this person that all the other people they killed totally deserved it? I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, Len'en 4 is really fucking weird, because it'll have, like, it'll just, like, very casually say really dark shit. So, Midori's the character's like, yeah, I killed all these people, but, you know, it's me. And also the whole thing with Aiozane, I'll probably talk about this more when I get to Aiozane, but, like, they, like, didn't know that poison hurts when you kill someone. So they killed Aiozane, and they meant to do it painlessly, but they poisoned them to death, and that really fucking hurts, and they didn't know that, and it's just like, what the fuck am I reading? Bizarre dialogue. And also, apparently, like, the arrows they shoot is, like, made of their own blood or something, so that's pretty metal. But, yeah, I don't know. Another character with a bunch of lore, a lot of which I don't remember the details of, but, you know, they're pretty cool, I guess. Big Boss. Is Big Boss the name of a Metal Gear character? Anyway, this is a penguin. The penguin does penguin-y things, like go all over the fucking screen. Like half the characters on the right side route of Len'en 4 do. And yep, don't really remember much about them, other than they made a joke about penguins. And Yabusabi wanted to make them a pet penguin. And they come from the South Pole, because they're a penguin. Right, Heiji. Heiji's Henry. It's a weird character. Most of them are weird characters. How many times have I said that? It's a fucking weird series. Yeah, they're a really big fan of, the Senri Shrine. So they, like, copied a bunch of their spell cards and stuff, and, like, half their theme is just Shirobami's theme. And they changed their last name to Senri because they're a fucking weirdo. And then you fight them because they want to take your cards, and then you beat them. And all of their cards are spell cards from extra and final bosses from Touhou, including Fujiwara Volcano. Fuck Fujiwara Volcano. But, yeah, the main thing I remember about this character is that, I didn't beat them on my first try like I did for Yago. It took me a couple tries, but compared to the amount of fucking times I had to fight Xeno A, this character is nothing. Oh my god. Fucking Xeno A. Oh my god. But yeah, I don't know. They're very much they exist character. I mean, they show up at the end of Len'en 4. So they don't really have that much going for them. And unlike the other two characters that show up as extra stage bosses in Len'en 4, they don't really have that much backstory, so this is the third one. Anyway, Tenkai. I like Tenkai a lot. I guess one thing interesting about this, in comparison to if I ever do a Touhou sorter, is, like, I know who my favorite Touhou character is. I don't know who my favorite Len'en character is, so I don't actually know what the result of this could be, but we'll see. But anyway, Tenkai, I like Tenkai a lot, because Tenkai, they have a lot of backstory and stuff. They're really important for the lore, but they're also, unlike Shirobami when we get there, they're in the fucking games for more than, like, one of them, you know? You know, they show up at the end of the third game, and then they're a main character in the fourth game, and they have a lot of dialogue, and they say interesting things, and they have, like, I don't exactly remember what Tenkai's, like, ability is. It's like barrier building or something. I don't know what that means. But they can do that, and also, despite the fact that they were apparently, like, helped co-rule an entire land, apparently what they do now is that they're, like, an apprentice at a barrier builder shop or something. Okay. I also don't know how old Tenkai and Shirobami are supposed to be, because, like, most of the stuff they talk about is implied to have happened, like, a long time ago, but also they're humans, so, like, it's not like the other characters where it can be a long time ago and it'd be like 200 years ago. A long time ago for a human would be like, what, like 10 to 20 years ago? I don't know. I assume the character Tenkai and Shirobami are, like, decently old, but the art style doesn't show that. Anyway, they're also a melon. It's a joke. I didn't know... Before I played Len'en 4, I was sincerely confused by the dialogue. I kept calling them a melon, because I didn't realize that the melon they were talking about was actually called a melon. Pretty sure you just call it a cantaloupe. Unless that's a slightly different thing. It looked like the same thing when I looked it up. Anyway, it's a different type of melon that looks like this, and that's a joke. Tenkai looks like a melon. They say that about 765 million times. Right, anyway, there you go. Garaya. Did you know that Garaya's theme is really good? And I've tried to play it multiple times and have given up because the intro is kind of fucking insane. But the funny thing about Garaya is, yeah, the thing with like Len'en, like Jinx's art style is the characters' heads are really big, and this is like very apparent in Garaya's art because you have the toad. I don't remember their name. When they're in animal form, they kind of, like, they're on their head, you can kind of see here, which I'm pretty sure if they actually had, like, a proportionally drawn head wouldn't make any sense, unless the animal form is, like, really small, so I imagine, I've never seen this, but I imagine if you actually, like, drew Garaya, like, proportionally correct, along with the animal would just kind of be, like, scratching their eyes, instead of, like, trying to hang on. But anyway, Garaya themselves, I don't really know much about them from what I remember. The part of the yokai coalition, and then they lead the master of the toad and the slug. Not the first slug, the second slug. It's important. And then I think they worked for Fumikado, and then they saw Choki get the castle, and they were like, okay, Choki leader now. And that was that. I don't remember most of their dialogue. Apparently they're supposed to be based on Byakuren. That's what the wiki says. I don't really see that, because I don't know. Maybe they said some similar stuff about like human yokai coexistence at some point, but I don't remember that. Especially since, you know, they fight on the yokai side in the game that's supposed to be about a war between yokai and humans, except not really, because Len'en 4 is weird because it's a war, but also they're like it's like a play war, but also like the winner of said war gets whatever they want, I think. So like I don't fucking know. Anyway, Iozane. I like Iozane, but I mainly like Iozane because they're with Fumikado all the time, and they kind of have to act as Fumikado's straight man when Fumikado's really stupid and says some really stupid things, and that's funny. Like, you know, something I can't swallow, constipated, no idiot, I said something I can't swallow, you know, stuff like that. And then, but when it comes to Fumikado or Iozane themselves, I don't really. I mean, I read their backstory, I forgot most of it, but I'm pretty sure even when I read it, I was really understanding what was going on. So they died, right? Matori killed them, but they also wanted to be killed, I think. I don't really remember the details, so they died, but then they didn't die, because they came back to life, and I think they're immortal now, for some reason, and then, like, they became like a boat farer for spirits or something, I think, and then they met Fumikado, and Fumikado was like, I'm going to bring back Emperor and rule shit, and Iozane's like, I really want to be the advisor to an Emperor. It's like, cool dream, man. So that's what Iozane does. Iozane helps Fumikado because they want to be their advisor. And, yeah, that's the thing. So they follow Fumikado around, and they constantly question what they're doing with their life every time Fumikado says something really stupid, and it's really funny. But, the thing about Iozane themselves is, you know, when I played through Len'en 4, a lot of it was me just fucking around through neutral routes and making no progress because I didn't know how the game worked and I didn't know where the characters were. But it just ended up through happenstance that the team I was playing as, when I actually like went through the story and went through then actually like didn't go through a neutral route that ended up resulting in nothing. So I played as new Emperor team. So when I went to the left side, you have the stuff with Fumikado and all the stuff that goes on there, which I'll probably talk about later. And, you know, that was just pretty cool stuff, so, you know, pretty sure by that point I knew that Iozane was related to some of the characters on the right side, because, you know, the name. And so I was expecting there's be some similar tier dialogue, and there's really not. Iozane just kind of shows up, and he's just like, yep, I'm not dead, by the way. And Matori's like, didn't I kill you? He's like, nah, dude, well, you did, but not really. Like, sorry about, you know, painfully killing you, because I don't know how poisons work. He's like, yeah, it kind of sucked, my dude, but, you know, it's fine. And that was the dialogue, and I'm just like, what am I reading? What am I reading? I don't know. Anyway, there you go. Don't know who this is. That's pretty sick design, though, I'm not gonna lie. Pretty cool. Don't know who this is, though. Anyway, Fumikado. What does it say about Fumikado? Fumikado is great. You know, they got the patented cool backstory where, you know, their grandfather it had them change bodies with a homunculus, and now they look like this. And then I think they got ousted from the capital for some reason. I don't remember the details. And then they met Iozane, and then they came up with a plan to revive an emperor or something, and then that failed because Fumikado's not very smart. This is the thing with Fumikado is, you know, they're powerful, and, you know, they've got ambitious plans, and you think they know what they're doing, but then you play Len'en 4 and you realize that Fumikado is a fucking idiot. It's pretty great to read. But, you know, feel like I would have more things to say about the characters that I'd like, but I really don't sometimes. It's just kind of like, you know, they got a good backstory, they're funny, they're cool. What else do you really want, you know? Jun! Jun. Jun is a stage 1 boss, and they don't really have that much to them. They sell umbrellas, I think. Yes, they sell umbrellas, but they're also a rain yokai, so they make it rain. I don't remember if they have a similar thing to Mystia, where they're also a scammer, where they'll make it rain in order to sell umbrellas. That might be something they do, or I might be something I made up. But yeah, it's Jun. They really have nothing to them other than they're best friends with the slug. The first slug, not the second slug. That's very important. I don't know, the design is neat. They're one of the Len'en characters I tried to draw once. Very weird design to try to draw. But, you know, they're fine. Sugumi is great. Because Sugumi, I remember when because I first got into the series looking at the music and not knowing anything about the characters, and when I first saw Sugumi's design, my reaction was, what the fuck is this? This character's design is kind of fucking stupid. And yeah, it is really stupid. Like, they're riding an eggplant, that's really stupid, but they change it to a pumpkin in the next game, that's slightly less stupid. They have a horseshoe on their head, that's really stupid. And they have, like, bat wings for some reason. I don't know why they have bat wings. Why do they have bat wings? Is that ever explained anywhere? Why do they have that? Do they actually need them to fly, or are they fake? I don't know. Anyway, this character looks really stupid, and the fact that after I played these games, this is one of my favorite characters is honestly kind of impressive, because of how stupid they look. But, yeah, Sugumi's great, because, you know, they have to deal with Fumikado, like Ayozane also does, but unlike Ayozane, who's, like, their advisor, Sugumi just kind of has to work for him for pay, and they're really fucking disgruntled with what's going on. It's really funny, and also a big reason why I like him is because I gave him a really stupid voice, and it was funny. Yeah, that's one thing that'll be interesting to see how it affects my opinions on things, is, you know, I've been doing these commentary videos for close to a year now, and sometimes when a character shows up, I'll do a stupid voice for them, and I'm not gonna lie, doing a stupid voice for a character makes you endeared to them. So that's mainly gonna affect the Touhou sorter if I decide to do that, but, you know, it affects this too. I'm trying to remember, did I do that many stupid voices? I definitely did Sugumi. I think I gave Yabusabe a stupid voice, but that didn't really do much to endear me to them. But, yeah, Sugumi, I like Sugumi a lot. Right, so yeah, I guess this is what Yabushabe looked like in Emergency Every Day, the thing that's not supposed to be here because I turned it off, but it's here anyway, I guess. Anyway, Huaka, he's the shit to do that I like, because he's not as much of an asshole as Kuroji is, and he's not a whiny baby like the other one is. He's just kind of there, he's kind of cool. You know, he's like the cool one. He's got fire powers and ice powers. He's got, like, fire wings and ice, pretty cool. There's, like, a jacket, that's pretty cool. He's got red hair, it's also pretty cool. I have a bias against characters with orange and red hair. It's a thing, I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. I have a pretty big bias for characters with orange and red hair, which is something I forgot to mention when talking about Tenkai. But yeah, Huaka, you know, out of the 3 shit to do's, is the one I like the most. But how high that'll end up putting them, I don't know. See, I'm at 10%. It's been 43 minutes, but trust me, when I'm done talking about everyone, it'll go faster after that. Anyway, this is the second slug, not the first slug. That's very important. I don't know fucking anything about this character. I listened to their theme a couple times to see if the Yokai Coalition medley is in there. I don't think it is. I don't think it's there for the Toad either, unless it's really subtle and I couldn't hear it. Anyway, this character, like, fights with the Toad a lot because they hate each other. And that's about all I remember. And also, they like eating salt despite being a slug because they're resistant to salt because they're just built different, I guess. So that's the slug. That's everything about the slug. Surabami. Right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Surabami, I don't know, they come across to me as more of like a more like a backstory than an actual character, you know, because they show up in the first game, like, most of their dialogue is from they're pretending to be Subakura, so it's like not even really saying much of anything, from what I remember. And then half their extra stage dialogue is with Yabusabe, and nobody says anything of worth when talking to Yabusabe, so there's nothing there. So, like, their only really interesting conversation is with Subakura, and I don't really remember what that is, but then, yeah, they fuck off to do who knows what. Maybe it'll be revealed what exactly that is in 10 years, or maybe it won't be. Anyway, they fucked off to the outside world to do something, and they've been gone ever since. So every time they get mentioned, it's just like, Surabami did this thing once, but, yep. I don't know, I just don't find that fee particularly compelling when I just get told what a character does, and I don't actually see any of it, you know? Maybe if it existed, if I, like, tried to look at fan works and tried to, like, actually show some of the stuff that happened, maybe I'd like them a bit more, but I haven't, so, I don't know, yep, they exist. And they're also, like, their power level is, like, really weird, because they're, like, you know, they're one of those characters that are, like, really super powerful and stuff, but also they've only had, like, one boss fight, which, if I'm being honest, compared to the other extra boss fights, was probably, like, the easiest one. And then, yeah, because, from what I remember, they're like, they maintain the barrier and stuff, because I think a previous priest built the barrier, and then also, like, they're super strong and can beat anyone or something. So yeah, that's Surabami. They exist. Speaking of characters that exist, Konomitsu Uya, what does this character do? I think they're a mercenary or something, and then they were friends with Matori, I think, so they got granted a position of power when the coup happened, and now they're a really annoying stage 4 boss. Yep. They also have red hair, but that's not helping them much. Choki, right, Choki, they have 2 right hands. Did you know that? You know that's canon? Did you know the canon that they have 2 right hands because Jinx said so? Because he drew it wrong and just said fuck it? That's the canon now? Or is it 2 left hands? I don't remember. Yeah, the thing about Choki is, like I said, I think I said earlier, the dialogue that plays when you fight Choki as a New Emperor team is probably the best conversation in the entire series, because it just takes itself seriously the entire time, and it's a pretty good character moment for every character there. And you know, it's just like it's a you know, a sad backstory, you know, because Fumikado, because you know how Ayozane plays that flute thing that gathers the spirits, and that's what happened in the 3rd game. Well, Choki was supposed to do that. In order for them to do that, they did the die on themselves, you know, and they couldn't play the flute anyway because Ghost can't play flutes or something, but Ayozane can, and I don't remember why that is. And yeah, they're really pissed off at Fumikado because Fumikado convinced them to do that, and then Fumikado kind of left them, which is, you know, kind of fucked up, but you know. I don't know. Is there like more explained at some point why Fumikado did that? I don't remember. But yeah, and there's also like a seeming tragedy to that, because, you know, Fumikado's a fucking idiot, and I don't think Choki's much smarter. So I feel like I don't know if this interpretation of this is correct, but I feel like the fact that Choki wouldn't be able to play the flute after they died is something that was probably pretty obvious, that most people would be able to tell was the result, but because these two are kind of stupid, they did it, and then, oh no, bad things. But yeah, when it comes to Choki themselves, like, I really like them in their, like, relation, in their backstory when it comes to Fumikado, but, like, other than that, like, they have that really good conversation with Fumikado, and that's about it. I kind of, like, treated this character as a joke in every single run of Len'en 4 that I did. I think I did a stupid ghost voice that was supposed to be a ghost voice, but it turned into just, like, whatever the hell this is. Ooh, I'm a ghost. Ooh. Yeah, I just kind of treat them as a joke, because the game kind of treats them as a joke for every route that isn't Fumikado's route, and I think it's Tenkai who reveals that, they weren't actually chosen by the castle. Because how that works is that the castle chooses someone to be bait for the actual person that the castle wants to rule them. Because, so I guess, the twist there is that Fumikado was actually supposed to be the ruler of the castle, but then they left to go fight the other side, which you never actually see, because that's the thing about Len'en 4, is that there are a bajillion different routes, and, like, none of them take place at the same time, so when Fumikado goes and takes down the Yokai Coalition, they just go back and take care of the capital, but you don't actually see that, and when, in the other timeline, when you take care of the capital, you go to the other way, take down the Yokai Coalition, which you don't see. So none of them happen at the same time, but they're implied to happen at the same time. And, I mean, I don't know about Book of Cafe, but I don't know when the time limit is, but I don't think there's been a game that specifically talks about what happened afterwards at any point. So who knows what happened at that point. Anyway, Choki. I like Choki. There you go. Hang on. Alright, so, the funny thing, if you look up, like, the most viewed upload of Shion's theme from Len'en 3, which is also, I'm pretty sure, like, one of the most viewed Len'en videos in general, it's like at 140,000 views or something. It's pretty impressive for a Len'en video. But, one of the top-rated comments in that video is, I prefer this Shion over the Touhou Shion. I don't. And I don't even really like Touhou Shion that much. Right, yeah, I'm gonna go on a bit of a tangent about something that may seem completely unrelated, but it'll come back to this character eventually, I swear. So, you know, the thing about Touhou, talk about Touhou in the Len'en video for a bit, is, you know, Zun made it a series about, at its core is about a bunch of cute girls that shoot really flashy and, like, beautiful patterns at each other, but they're all based on, like, you know, mythological creatures, mostly Japanese ones, and he wanted to, you know, include, like, some of the more, like, dark and fucked up aspects of that, because, you know, a lot of those things, you know, they have pretty fucked up backstories, like Kappa. You know, Kappa drowned you because they're literally, like, based on people's fear of drowning. And, I'll be honest, for me personally, a lot of that just doesn't work. It just makes it really tonally confusing. And, a big, like, one that he had tried to include was that the scary creatures that he's turned into, like, cute girls, they still go around, like, killing and eating people. And that's, like, really stupid. I like, try to talk about this before. It's really stupid. Like, I've seen art, like, of mostly, like, Rumia, like, fucking killing someone and, like, eating their guts, and it's just, it to me, looks just as stupid as, like, you know, the, like old early 2000s, like, edgy creepypastas about, like, child-friendly video games and TV shows. You know that stuff? It looks just as stupid to me. So, like, and I know most people agree with me on this, because the whole, like, that's not brought up in, like, 99% of fan stuff, the whole, like, these characters actually go around killing and eating people, because it's really stupid. Except if you're named Rumia, in which case it has been decided that your main character trait is that you eat people, so she never shuts the fuck up about it. So, basically, anytime Rumia shows up in anything, it's like, okay, here she is, Rumia's cute, she's gonna do her catchphrase thing, she's gonna stick her arms out, yep, she's being killed, she's talking about eating people again. Alright, can you please go away and be replaced by a character who has a better common fan interpretation? Well, this isn't about Rumia, but I just wanted to bring that up, because, yeah, take the whole Rumia talks about eating people thing, replace I'm going to eat you with I'm going to eat your soul, and that's, I think, like a third of Shion's dialogue. She just won't shut up about how much she wants to eat people's souls. And it's really annoying. Just, like, talk about something else. And there's also the point where it's, like, it could've, when you have Shrine Team in the fourth game, you just, Subakura's there, and then Yabusabe's there, and Shion's just kind of Yabusabe too. A lot of the time, it's just like, they're both gonna just say fucking nonsense that I don't care about. And it's just like, I really wish she would have replaced, instead of Shion, the third member of Shrine Team with someone who, you know, pushed back against Yabusabe's nonsense instead of gave into it, so I would have something not gibberish to read, you know? But yeah, Shion, not my favorite character. I mean, not my least favorite character either, because, you know, they have some cool backstory. They were born from a flower or something. And a big old scary flower. That's what the third game was about. Didn't Yabusabe give them their name, I think? That was a lore point, I think. I don't remember. Anyway, that's Shion. Xeno, A. Um, yeah, I don't try to let, like, actual, like, gameplay stuff, like how much I hate fighting them, affect my opinion of a character too much, but I'm gonna be honest, I think in this situation it's kind of impossible, because I have had to fight this stupid fucking boss so many goddamn times in the past year. Like, if you, I don't have a count, but if you were to take, like, the character, like, the fight I've done the most in any shmup, and compare it to number 2, this one is about 50 miles ahead of the second one, because I've had to fight this stupid fucking boss so many times. I hate Len'en 4's extra stage, and you have to fight this fucker every single time. Oh my god, I hate it. I hate it so much. But yeah, Xenoa's fight. I never want to fucking see it again for the rest of my life. Stupid fucking fight. RNG nonsense everywhere. It's just a cool theme, though. Cool theme, I'll give you that. But I didn't even listen to it most of the time. I listened to it the first couple times. It was like, I'm going to listen to other shit. And I listened to a lot of other things because it took me forever to do this fight. Because it took me forever to do this stupid extra stage. I hate Len'en 4's extra stage. I hate it so much. I hate this fight. Anyway, Xenoa is an actual character, not a stupid fucking boss fight. Like, one thing to throw out there is, you know, when I first saw this character, it was when I was just listening to the music and the background for this character. I thought it made it look like their wings was just part of the background, so I assumed they didn't have wings. And then I found out that those are actually their wings, and my reaction to that is, that looks really stupid. Yeah, it looks really stupid. Those wings look really stupid. But, yeah, besides the point, I don't know, Xenoa, their power is certainly something. From what I remember, they have, like, the power to manipulate probabilities, which means that anything that doesn't have a 0% chance of happening, they can have 100%, or anything that has anything above a 0% chance of happening, they can have a 100% chance of happening, and anything that has less than a 100% chance of happening, they could make a 0% chance of happening. I think that what that is, I don't exactly remember, but translating that from bullshit to English, that means they can do literally anything. Because who's ever writing them can just go, this technically doesn't have a 0% chance of happening because I said so, and this technically doesn't have a 100% chance of happening because I said so. So, Xenoa is immortal, because there's technically a greater than 0 chance that his cells will just never die, so they don't. And that's the thing about Xenoa, is, like, they're immortal, but I think they don't want to be, because you know, being immortal is fucking boring. That's kind of a theme about being immortal, is it gets very boring at some point, so they're really bored because they've lived for a long time, because they can't die, because they can control probabilities, except they can't control, like, their body, like, makes them live without them wanting to. So, they worked at a casino for a while, then Surabami showed up, and Surabami almost killed them somehow, and they're like, man, that was fucking awesome, so now they want to fight Surabami. But then Surabami left because reasons, and then they're like, okay, I want to fight someone who can give me the thrill of almost dying again, and that's why they fight you in the 4th game. And then they do that thing where they talk mad shit about how they're gonna kill you, and I think he was gonna kill you. Tenkai certainly acts like he was gonna kill you, but again, I don't know, because, you know, nobody has died in this series yet, so do people actually die? I don't know. They had that thing at the beginning of, like, the prologue to the 4th game, where, like, a quarter like, landed on its side, because they manipulated that to happen, and that was, like, a foreshadowing for them to show up, so, you know, that was kind of cool. Yeah. I don't know, yeah, you know, they've got some cool stuff to them, but again, the power is really stupid, because I don't know. This is the thing when you have a series where you just have, like, this is a problem I have with Touhou sometimes too, where it's a series where you just kind of come up with an ability that you thought was cool, and sometimes, like, that ability is kind of fucking stupid if you take it towards a logical conclusion. Like, I mean, I'm not going to talk about Sagamay too much, but Sagamay from Touhou, his ability is really stupid, because they can say words, and then the opposite of what they say would happen. And the thing about most Touhou characters is they have abilities that are about that stupid, but you don't actually see it happen, so it's really vague if it works, or even works at all. Like, Remilia can manipulate fate, supposedly. I think she made that up, but, no, I don't. That's a joke. But, that's never really worked in a way that's made it seem like she can do that consciously, whereas it's shown in Touhou that, yeah, Sagamai can very consciously say words, and then the opposite of what she says will happen because she said so, and that's really fucking stupid. But, you know, Zun thought it was a cool ability, so he made it, and then he used it as a plot device in 15 and some other games. And, yep. Anyway, and back to Len'en. Xenoway, I like them more than Shion, so there you go. Shinku! I don't know what that is. Kaisen. That's their name. Zuma. At 12 here, it's been an hour. I might go to 2 hours here. You know I can't actually record for 2 hours, the thing stops, so it'll have to be multiple parts, and I'll have to stitch it together, which is fine, because I'm going to have to edit this anyway, because I'm going to edit a bunch of music, because I am, again, listening to complete silence. Anyways, this is Toad. Toad. What Toad, Mario? Look at all those toads. The hat. They made of tadpoles. It's really fucking gross, Mario. Yeah, their hat is a bunch of, like, baby toads. It's, like, really gross. Anyway, this is Toad. Kaisen. They're a toad. They have, like, a synthetic leg, I think, for some reason. I don't know why that is, but they do. They don't like their slug friend, and they yell at them a lot. That's probably a big reason why I don't remember much about Jiraiya, is most of their dialogue is just yelling at Kaisen and the other one, because they're yelling at each other. Anyway, they're a character that exists, and because I know something about them, that makes them better than this one. Don't know what this one is. You know, you see all that? There's not a check there. Don't check it. So, this is the first slug, not the second slug. That's important. This is like the 5th time I made that joke. I'm not known for my great humor, so there you go. A joke that needs to die, I keep saying. You know, they're friends with Jun. They go out to beat the main character because they beat up Jun. And I'm pretty sure that's what they do in both the 2nd and 4th game. And remember much because I'm pretty sure most of the characters just like make slug jokes about him and talk about throwing salt on him. It's not very nice. It's the only instance of, well, it's not the, it's one of 2 instances where a Len'en and a Touhou character share the same name, but it's the only instance where, you know, the Touhou character came first, so it was definitely, at least partially deliberate. I don't know if that's supposed to mean anything, probably not. I think Sho might mean, like, star or something, I don't know. I don't know any Japanese at all, and I never will. But yeah, this is a slug, it's a slug. Yeah, we've reached the point where I don't have to talk about characters anymore, because I've already talked about them. I don't know what this is. That's probably the most bird-looking Len'en character I've ever seen, though. That looks just like a bird with a giant eye. His name's Tom. Tom C. Limlija. Cool. Cool beans, that guy. Definitely cooler than that guy. Red, white, and white, black, huh? That just looks like... I don't know what that is. What is that? I don't know. What, that has a human shape, at least. Kanai. Kanai Tabanaki. Yep, definitely know who these characters are, huh? Yep, seen them before. Yep, seen them all the time, actually. Alright, we've already reached that point. Do I put my least favorite character at the bottom, or do I actually put characters I know nothing about at the bottom? Fuck this mirror. Lumen! I hate Lumen for reasons that aren't really their fault, but also it is kind of their fault. Alright, so, I did the Len'en extra stages at some point, all 4 of them. Which means I've done more Len'en extra stages than Touhou extra stages at this point. But, yeah, I fucking hate Len'en 2's extra stage. I fucking hated it, and it took me forever to do. I hate Lumen as a mid-boss, I hate all of their attacks. But, you know, I finally beat it. But there's no video of me doing that. You wanna know why there's no video of me doing that? Because my replay broke. And my replay broke because Lumen is a stupid boss whose attacks, like, slow down the game or something, and apparently that just caused your replays to die. So Lumen killed my replay. Really pissed me off when that happened. Yes, it did. Apparently Sesei can do the same thing, but Sesei didn't do it to me, so I don't fucking hate Sesei for that. See how that works? I hate their attacks in the extra stage too. I hate all of them. They're so stupid. Like, yep, here's this giant fuck you laser, and then the whole game slows down, and then just stupid. Their attacks suck in the main game too. They're like, some attacks in Len'en really are just fucking noob killers, where it's like, if you don't know what you're doing, you just die. And that's like half of Lumen's attacks. It's so stupid. You're just like, oh, I'm just sitting here, I wonder what's gonna happen, and I'm dead, because they shot like a giant laser at me, and I was just supposed to know they were gonna do that. Cool. I remember Yabusabe had an attack like that in the first game, because I remember I did my first playthrough as Yabusabe. It was like, I'll play through the game as Subakura before I try the second game, sure, and then Yabusabe immediately murdered all of my lives, because they had an attack where they like put the screen in 4 quadrants or something, and then I couldn't hit them, and then I died, and then I'm confused how that happened, because when I played the game again, that didn't really happen. I was able to do the attack not that hard, it wasn't that difficult to do, so I don't know. Anyway, Lumen the character, not Lumen's, fucking broke my replay, piece of shit. I don't know, they're a bug, I think. Are they a moth? No, I don't think they're a moth, I don't know, there's something. Maybe a butterfly? A bee? No, not a bee, sting like a bee. Anyway, they were like a hero or something at some point. I think that's their thing. They like solved the incidents, but they no longer do that. And apparently, they're the reason why Len'en 3's extra stage happened, because like they drink a bunch, and then I guess they got their talismans off somehow, which is supposed to restrict their power, so they went crazy with power, and that's what you fight in the extra stage of the second game. And then that giant-ass fucking laser they shoot at you apparently went on to cause a giant rift in the space of the Mugenry's that Tenkai has to fix in the next game. So yeah, this is a surprisingly important character, despite not being important at all, you know? Anyway, I don't remember, like, anything from their dialogue. I remember in Babysitter Team. Is that what it's called? I don't remember. Preschool Team, that's what it's called. Their dialogue is all I remember is that was the dialogue where there was clearly some weird translation trying to go with a joke there, because Sukune was like, 10 kinds. 10 kinds? I don't know. Anyway, that has nothing to do with Lumen. But Lumen is Lumen. There's not much to say about them. I mean, you at least have a theme. I've at least read some of your dialogue. You look sick as fuck. Fucking Klaus. Who's Klaus? I wonder how many characters haven't shown up by this point. It will give much faster when they show up, I swear. Maybe at over an hour here and only 20 minutes. And only at 20%, but I swear. It won't be that much longer. Maybe. Maybe. Klaus. Klaus is the first final boss of this series. Their joke is that they're really annoying, and they won't shut up, and literally everyone hates them. And it's really funny. They're very much not a deep character at all. They're just there to be a joke, and they are treated as a joke, and they're pretty funny ones sometimes. Also, apparently, the thing about Klaus is, because the thing about Suzumi is that they're really overpowered because they have the ability to make everyone's memories go bye-bye, so nobody remembers that, like, they're even there. But apparently there are 2 characters that aren't affected by that ability at all. And it doesn't matter, because those 2 characters are also so fucking incompetent that the fact that they can't do anything about that is irrelevant. And the first character is Yabusabe, because Yabusabe is Yabusabe, and the other character is apparently Klaus. That might be wrong, but I swear I remember reading something like that. I've regurgitated wrong information about this series before. I remember at one point I said that Jun is confirmed to be 19, because I think I read that on the fandom wiki once, and that's just apparently not right. Damn. Okay. Soku Salami. Don't remember anything about this character. I think they're Celestial, right? Like Celestials have any lore in this series at all, but that's apparently what they are. And they like got a charm from Subakura that didn't work or something. I don't remember. Penguin, you're a character. Finally, they are here. Fucking Yabusabe. Right, so, Yabusabe Hulen is the type of character who I would probably be fine with if they were just like, you know, like, not very important, and they just kind of showed up every now and then to be goofy, and that's all they are. But, Yabusabe is not that. Yabusabe is one of the main characters of this fucking series. They have some of the most dialogue in the series because they're one of the playable characters. And most of what they say has absolutely no value whatsoever. You could replace them with ... and you get the same effect, because they just say random nonsense all the fucking time, and nothing they say matters, and they're with Subakura all the time, so they derail anything interesting Subakura could have potentially said. And I just wish they weren't. I wish anyone else was the other main character of this series. Like, literally anyone. Well, not literally anyone, but like most of them. I don't know. There's like, they say funny things sometimes, but most of the time it's just like, can I read something that means something, please? Yep, that's just Yabasabe, I don't hate them that much. Heiji's a nothing character. Fine. Zelo! Isn't that like... I think Jinx has, like... I've never watched any of Jinx's videos. Doesn't he have, like character models or something, I think? I think the character that was there earlier is one of them. This might be the other one. I don't remember anything about him. Hibaru Koku Tenchi. Fucking bird. Right, so... I call this character Len'en Aya a lot because, out of all the characters in this series, the one that feels the most like this is Len'en version of Touhou character is this one. Like, for me, this character feels like, okay, what if Aya, instead of writing articles, they scam people with insurance? And that seems to be what this character is. They go around trying to scam people with insurance or something, because this is an insurance agency that they work for, apparently. And they also have that thing that Aya has where, you know, even though Aya does nothing but go around and annoying people, she's really powerful because she's really old and because Zun said so. And this character is apparently really powerful because they, like, apparently tried to kill Surabami or something, and they're not dead yet, so there's gotta be something to that. And then also there's this really fucking bizarre piece of lore where apparently they have something based on some legend or something where a bird lended the sun money and the sun didn't give it back. Like the actual sun, you know, the big ball of plasma, that thing. Yeah, and then the bird spends every day yelling at the sun to give its money back. And apparently that's somehow part of this character's backstory, as if that makes any fucking sense. How the fuck is the sun gonna borrow money and then not give it back? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. I don't know how that works. But yep, that's part of this character's backstory. Apparently this character yells at the sun because it borrowed money from them somehow. I don't know how that works. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway. Right. Again, I'm in a situation where it's like, you at least have a cool theme. There you go. You. I don't fucking care about either of you. Fine. Alright, I'm surprised you haven't showed up yet. Yarochi. I've said this character's backstory before. When Saragamaru showed up, so I don't need to do it again. But you know, Yarochi, he's pretty cool. Even though in his backstory he's kind of a dick, but you know, I don't think he's that much of a dick anymore. In fact, this thing with Len'en characters is that all the playable ones are kind of like they're on a spectrum of how much of an asshole they are, but none of them are really good people. And ironically, Yarochi is like one of the better ones because he's not that much of a dick. He just kind of wants to do what he needs to do and move on. But, you know, main thing that's great about Yarochi is that, apparently whenever he, like, saw the sword that Sukune has, after that, you know, they did the ritual thing, and now Yarochi just kind of hangs out with Sukune now, and they're just kind of friends. And it's kind of adorable. So you know, there's that. This is, like, one of the best pieces of dialogue in the series, is when, you get to Yarochi as Shrine Team, and Sukune is like, they're like basically siblings, which is kind of tragic in a way when you think about it, but you know, whatever. Slug. Code. I don't fucking know. Can't even see most of this character because they're wearing black and a black shirt. You're a cool bird. Oh man. Right, Para or Kuroji? Yeah, Kuroji has some moments. Eh. I don't know who these people are. Who are you people? You look funny. Fuck this mirror. You? Duh. Um. Klaus is funnier. You're not a character. Okay. I like you more than the penguin. You at least have cooler attacks. Okay. This one. Which of these two do I like more? I think I like Sugumi slightly more. I don't know. Guess I like Joey a bit more. Yeah, because here's the thing with characters like these. Like, I said a lot of negative things about Shion, but at the end of the day, they at least have more dialogue than some of these other characters do. So this isn't more to them. Show is just... Show is show. We see how fast it goes? See how fast it goes? Is Klaus in front of Subakura right now? I think they are. Yeah, that's the thing with these sorters. They don't make sense sometimes. They really don't. Like, the first, like, 20 in the list will probably be fine, and then, depending on how much you care, the last, like, 5 to 10 will be fine, but a bunch of the middle is just nonsense, where you press something without really thinking about it, and now it's just all over the place. Duh. Literally, this is a puppet of a child that will die. This is really not much. Okay. I think this is basically asking who my favorite character is at this point. Yeah, I think it's that guy. Now we're at dribble again. Absolute dribble. Yep, I've talked about everyone at this point, so yeah, we're just kind of here. What are we doing here? Who knows? Click the button. Yeah, I like you more than dribble. Undo that. I clicked that way too fast. I don't actually know what the answer to this is. Yeah, really the main thing here is, if you were just talking about, like, the second and third game, it'd probably be Saragamaru, but then you have the fourth game, where Sukune is a main character, and, Saragamaru was an afterthought. So, probably just based on that, and that game has the most dialogue, it's probably Sakune. Here we go. I don't know. Give a clear backstory. Alright, now we got this cool fucking thing and this cool fucking thing. Which of these cool things are cooler? This is what Kurohobi apparently used to look like. Damn. Thing was funny. I don't know, you really exist in the series. I at least didn't know who you are. Right, where do I rank the Otagumos compared to... Do I really like Tsugumi that much? Kinda do. I mean, they do full rotation in potato, in pumpkin, rocket. It's pretty funny. Yeah, I think I like them a bit more. I like Awazane more, though. I don't think I do. Maybe I do. Maybe. Eh. I like how I spent like most of the time talking about things I don't like about Xenoa, and I think they're going to be pretty high by the end of this. How ironic. Alright, these fucking two. You're less of a detriment than the other one, because you have less dialogue overall. Alright. The annoying as hell stage 2 boss, and the annoying as hell stage 4 boss. Stage 4 or stage 3? Actually, was stage 3. Kashiwagi. Stage 4. Penguin. I don't care. You're less annoying of a boss fight. How cool is this design I'm looking at? That's what this part of the order is. Right. Do I like Tsugumi or Sukune more? Right. I figured this would show up eventually. Alright. Which of these two? I don't really know. I guess you. I don't know. Maybe it's you. You. No, whatever. You seem better. You're fine. Because I made you funny. You didn't crash my game. You didn't crash my game either. You're a penguin. Fine. I don't know anything about you. Honestly, I know more about you than the other one. I at least know who you are. Like, what is it? What am I even looking at? Like, what the fuck is this? I know, I have no idea what I'm even looking at. There you go. There are only 54 Len'en characters. That's actually... Wow, that means, at least like 10 of those are from, I think, are from, the game that I tried to get taken off and it didn't get taken off. Anyway, there you go. That was Len'en's Order. It only took almost an hour and a half because yapping. I yap. So, yep, Mitsumo's at the very bottom. It's not a surprise at all. And then you have a bunch of who cares. Like, literally who cares. Don't know who any of these people are. Yep, who are these people? Uh-huh. Right. Huh? Where's a real character show up? Right, this is where the slug is, right? The second slug? Is that really who ended up being at the bottom? Out of the real characters? Really? No, Habaru's right here. Habaru is second to last, like I predicted they probably would be. Lumen ended up being a lot higher than I thought they were, but, you know, at least there's, like, some positives towards them, towards, like, I don't feel anything towards this fucking slug, or the Celestial. Jinbe's barely a character. Yeah, there's Lumen, and then there's, you know, a bunch of I don't care, you know, Kenomitsu, Penguin, Senri, Toad, Gashy Baggy. You know, funny voice can only get you so far when I barely remember anything about your character. The third shit to do, Surabami's at 26. Slug number 1, Kurohabi, honestly higher than I expected them to be, but again, they have a pretty decently cool backstory, I guess. You know, Para, Shirogane, Yago, Yabushabe, all the way down at 20. Shion, right above them. Jiraiya, Kuroji, Lino, Matori, Jun, a lot higher than I expected them to be. They're 14. I don't know. They got a neat design, I guess. I guess that made me click them above other people. Subakura ended up under Klaus. That wasn't supposed to happen. Don't know why that happened. And Huaka's here. Yeah, this is the weird thing about this. I would probably put Subakura. I'd probably have Subakura like right next to Suzumi. Honestly, like probably right above Suzumi. It's probably where they should have been, but weird sorting shenanigans happened. Klaus ended up surprisingly high for, you know, a joke character. 12. Huaka, you know, pretty high for the only one I care about. And then you have your top 10. You have Choki, Suzumi, Sesei, Ayozane, Orochi, Saragamaru, Segumi, Sukune, Fumikado, and Tenkai. There you go. That was that. So right. It took me an hour and a half to get through 54 characters. The Touhou sorter has I think more than twice that, like quite a bit more than twice that, might be 3 times that. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. This took an hour and a half, the Touhou one's gonna take like 4. I don't know, maybe I'll do that, maybe I won't. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed me fucking yapping for almost an hour and a half. And then I don't know when this is gonna be uploaded, because, I have to edit music on this. But, yep, whenever this gets uploaded, it'll be uploaded. So, I wanted to say it would take 15 minutes for me to do this. Yep. But, yep, that was that. So maybe I'll do a total sorter, or maybe I won't. But either way, I hope you enjoyed this. Bye.